So hey besties, today we are going to use one of our Prego Pesto sauces and we are going to make us some steak flatbreads today. So I'm super excited because I got this sauce a couple of weeks ago and we are going to be trying it out today. So first thing we're going to do is go ahead and get our steak out the pack and we're going to go ahead and start slicing up our steak. Now as y'all can see, my steak is a little brown, but that does not mean your steak is bad. So for anybody who ever bought any kind of steak and they see a little bit of brownness on your steak, as long as it's not accompanied with no odor, then you know your steak is perfectly safe to eat. And the reason why is when your steak turns brown, it is a process called oxidation. Oxidation is when the myoglobin in the steak reacts with the oxygen that is in the air and causes the steak to change colors. So that does not mean your steak is bad. And for those of you who don't know, myoglobin is the protein inside of the steak, which everybody who orders a steak and they get it medium rare, and you see that what they like to say, my steak is still bleeding. Your steak is actually not bleeding. It's the protein being released from the steak, which is called myoglobin. So now that we've had our background, let's go ahead and start cooking our dinner. So first thing we're going to do is slice up our steak. Then of course, because I'm me, I'm going to go ahead and clean it off. After I clean it off, I went on ahead and patted it dry, and it was time to go ahead and start seasoning our steak. Now for the seasoning, I'm going to use some of my favorite seasonings, which is just going to be some onion powder, some garlic powder. Of course, we're going to put some paprika on there because we grown. We're going to add in some all-purpose, and you got to have that garlic and herb. Now my steak is seasoned. It looks something like this, and we're going to go ahead and get us a pan. We're going to put a little bit of olive oil in there. We're going to turn it on high heat, and we are going to put our steak in there, and we're just going to let our steak cook. And you can cook it to your desired temperature, whatever you prefer. I'm going to make sure that I cook mine just about well done. After that, we're going to go ahead and start working on our veggies. So for our veggies, you can see it in my bowl over there. I already got some fresh spinach that I went on ahead and removed the stems, and I washed it off, and we're just going to put it in a bowl. After that, we got us some tomatoes that we're going to start working on, some cherry tomatoes. That's what I'm just going to wash off. I'm going to slice those up, and then I'm going to put it in a bowl with my spinach. After I'm done with my tomatoes, I'm going to go ahead and start slicing up that red onion, and I'm going to also put that in a bowl with the spinach and the tomatoes, and that is going to be the veggies that is going to go on our flatbread. So this is the sauce that we're using. It's the Prego roasted garlic pesto, and I'm super excited to try this because it looks so yummy. So I got my French bread open. I'm going to go ahead and pour some of that sauce on top, and don't be stingy with the sauce. If you like me and you like it real saucy, do not be stingy with the sauce. Go ahead and pour a lot of sauce on there. Now while I am assembling my flatbread, I'm going to go ahead and start to preheat my oven because you do not want to stick cold food inside of a cold oven. So we're going to go ahead and preheat our oven at 350 because that's just the temperature my oven goes on. While my oven is preheating, we're going to go ahead and continue to work on our flatbread. Now I'm going to go ahead and put that spinach down on top of that sauce so the sauce can hold the spinach down. I'm going to go ahead and add my tomatoes. And I'm going to add my red onions on top of my spinach. And I'm going to make sure that I use a good amount because I want to go ahead and try and cover the entire bread. And if you have any pieces that fall over on the side, it's okay. You can just scoop them up when you're going ahead ready to eat. After I got my veggies on my bread, it is time for us to go ahead and add our steak that we cooked. And you don't have to use steak. You can use any protein that you have. You can replace the steak with chicken. You can use shrimp. I was even thinking about trying it with some salmon bites. Get some salmon, cut it in some little bites, and try it like that. We'll see what happens with that one. So you can use whatever kind of protein you like, or you can just use veggies and you don't have to have a protein at all. It is your world. It is up to you however you like to do it. After I got that steak on top of my veggies, I'm going to go ahead with some cheese. I'm just going to use some cheddar shredded cheese, and then we are all going to pop this in the oven. Now I did decide, which I didn't get to record, but I did decide to add some more sauce on top because If you're like me and you like things saucy, don't be afraid to add the sauce. And this is what it was looking like after I added the sauce on top when it came out of the oven. And it was time to go ahead and eat. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down, and we are going to go ahead and cut us a slice of this steak pesto garlic French bread. And when I tell you it was good. It was. I'm not going to lie and say it wasn't good. Would I buy this sauce again? I don't think so, but it was good. It's just not something for me. And as always, if you are loving these videos, subscribe, like, share, and comment. Bye, besties.